going to start by cutting some plates now to mount our hydraulic cylinder for the crane. So we're just cutting a piece of 4" by 1/2" flat plate, 3 inches long. Well, we've cut the plate for the bottom part of the hydraulic cylinder, so it's going to be going in just like this, but we're going to cut a profile to it. And I'm going to use a piece of 3/16 wall pipe by 2" by 2" to make the top mount. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and mark on here the way we want it to sit. So we're going to have this vertically against the crane. We're going to want our hole here, and then we're going to cut down this way, and we're going to round this over to give ourselves clearance. So let me stick this in here so we get an approximation of where our hole needs to be. Alright, so that's what we're looking at. So with the small bandsaw, I'll make these other 2 cuts. And then for the top, I've already marked it. We're going to do a cutout so that this can pivot. And we're going to drill a hole through to put a bolt through to secure it. So all I did was lay it on top to measure the maximum height of this. And then we'll cut the clearance also with the small bandsaw. So I'm going to set up the small bandsaw and we'll be right back to do that. Alright, I'll clean the inside of this up with a file a little bit, and next we'll drill this, but let me go ahead and cut out our other big plate. Alright, so we'll take these both over to the mill and we'll do the drilling of the holes. Then we'll clean them up a little bit. This one with a file, and this one I'll put on the belt grinder. And then we'll come back and position and weld these, because we're going to need to decide how we want the arm to move, how low we want it to go, and how high we want it to go. And that'll determine where we weld these 2 things. All right, so we'll be back over at the mill in a minute. Let me just get things set up over there for us, and I'll be right back with you. Well, we're over here at the mill now. I've got everything set up, and you might notice I have a new vise. Jet finally sent me my new 1280N Wilton vise. It was a package deal. It was on back order, and they actually upgraded me to the 8" I was supposed to get the 6". So big thank you to Jet and Southern Tools for providing this for me. Let's go ahead and drill it. So I've got it chucked in there. We're doing a 5/8 hole. This should drill nice and easy on this rig. Put a little oil in there. All the way through, nice and smooth. This machine is fantastic. This is the Jet turret mill. It's a 9 by 49" top, variable speed, just fantastic. You know, I recently got it and I'm very pleased with it. All right, now we've got our second piece installed. We're going to go ahead and drill this one as well. Get a little bit of oil on there. All right, we've got that. So both pieces are done now. I'll see you guys back over at the workbench, and then we'll go ahead and do a little bit of grinding and shaping on these. All right, so we're going to go ahead and shape these 2 pieces on the belt grinder real quick. I'll start with this one, and then we'll do the square tube in a moment. All right, I think that one's good to go. We're going to round out the corners on this one for clearance. All right, that should be adequate. Well, now our brackets are done, so this one will be sliding into the bottom, and they'll be taking a 1/2 inch grade 8 bolt. This one will be fitting over the top, also taking a 1/2 inch grade 8 bolt. And we've got plenty of clearance here. I mean, they're not going to pivot a whole lot, but I just wanted to have the clearance for them, just in case we change something down the road. But this is now how they'll be welded in to the crane. We'll get over to the crane and set up a couple of braces to help us support the arm so we can decide on the exact location of these two plates. So we'll get back over to the crane and do that right now. All right, so I've gone ahead and positioned this bottom mount here, and I'm going to go ahead and finish spot welding it, and then we're going to put our cylinder on and get our position for our upper plate to be welded in. All right, let's set this on there. Okay. So we just need to get this position here correct now. I want to make sure I get it pretty much centered. And that looks really good right there. Let me go ahead and throw a spot weld on it. All right, let me put one more down here on this back corner that I didn't get to. All right, that should be strong enough for us to go ahead and test the movement of it. Let's go ahead and let's jack it up. And let's see if we've got what we want. I think this is open here. All right, that certainly seems to work. So I think we're good there. We'll just go ahead and off camera, I'm going to do the final welding on these two pieces. Then we're going to be ready to break this down for paint. We're going to do a little bit of grinding and get it painted. All right, so we'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, we are now at our reassembly point. We'll start by setting in our cylinder. I've already mounted the arm. Just want to make sure I get tucked in here as well. Alright. Oh, that went in nice and easy. Go ahead and put the washers and the lock nuts on there. Of course I dropped one. They always fall right out of reach. Now these are all grade 8 bolts, which is important because of the heavy lifting we're going to be doing with them. So they're very strong. Do not use typical Home Depot or Lowe's hardware. It will not be strong enough and you'll end up having a problem. So always use grade 8 bolts or grade 5 because they'll give you the best reliability and the safest operation. I always like to use lock nuts because they also prevent them from shaking loose and then you don't notice. And if one of these comes out while you're lifting, it can be a real problem. So just for the sake of safety, always put some kind of a lock nut or a lock washer. All right, that's it. We'll go ahead and raise this up so we can install our hook. Take my little support board out. Now I painted this yesterday, but the paint is still a little bit on the soft side, so I'm going to have to touch up a couple of spots that I've already nicked. But it's not a big deal. I mean, this is a shop crane. It's going to get a lot of use. It's going to get a lot of scratches. All right, I think we're high enough there so we can go ahead and mount our hook. Let me roll this over a little bit. And now for the hook, we're also using obviously grade 8 hardware. And we've got 4 washers we're going to use because we're going to have washers on the outside and on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and slide one in. Of course, I did that backwards. Huh. Go ahead and slide one in there. Slide the hook in. Now the trick is to slide this other one inside the gap, which that's nice and easy. Worked out better than I expected. We'll go ahead and secure this again with a lock nut. Let me get my adjustable wrenches. Now we're not going to bear down to tighten this, but these grade 8 lock nuts are much tougher than normal nylon lockers, so it takes a lot more force. But we're going to leave it loose. I mean, it still moves freely, so we don't get anything hanging up. Anyhow, the hook's on, hydraulic cylinder is in. Going to have to do a little touch-up paint. We'll roll this outside and we'll go ahead and get it set up behind the truck so you can see how it works. All right, so finishing touches, I'm going to put a couple of my stickers on here so everybody knows who built this. You should always be proud of your work and let people know that you made something. Good way to do that is have some kind of a sticker or a stencil that you put on your projects. So, no question that I made this one. All right, we're going to move this outside to the truck and we'll see how it fits. Now this is a major improvement over the old engine hoist I was using to unload my truck. This is going to make life so much easier for me, not only unloading the truck, but also moving around large objects inside the shop. I hope you enjoyed these videos. I hope you learned something and might even try to build one of these for yourselves. Remember, subscribe, hit that bell icon for notifications, like, and share this video with your friends. Thank you for joining me on my maker's journey. Hope to see you soon in the next video.